Hi everyone, it is Stephanie here again today, and in following with last week's safety theme, I'm gonna talk today about ways to make sure your kitchen is safe because it can be an area that is quite dangerous. So one of the things we can do is to use appliances with automatic timers so that they kind of turn off when you're done with them. But if that's not accessible, you can also use plastic covers to hide knobs, or even take the knobs off of things like the stove or the oven. You can even unplug small appliances, including the stove really, but things like microwaves are really easy to unplug so that they can't be used when you're not there. For those who are able to use things like the microwave, it can be helpful to leave instructions. So we always want to foster as much independence as possible. So leaving instructions outside the microwave or even outside of the fridge for things that are easy to prepare, like maybe a sandwich or cereal, those can all be ways we can help increase that independence, but just give a little bit more cues. Another way to ensure safety in the kitchen is really making sure that anything poisonous or toxic, like cleaning supplies, chemicals, if you keep pills in there, we really want to make sure those are either out of reach or in a locked box or a cabinet that has safety locks. So those are all options so that you can still keep those items where you need them, but they're much harder to get into. The same goes for things that are sharp, like scissors and knives. Those are things that we use while cooking, but we want to make sure that they are out of reach, so either in a locked cabinet or up on a higher shelf. We can also do things to, again, help the kitchen be more accessible. So when it comes to snacking can be something that your loved one might really want to do all the time. And when we don't have those hunger cues or remember that we ate recently, we might want to snack more often than normal. And so instead of having to say no all the time, one thing that we can do is to leave pre-portioned healthy snacks or approved snacks in reachable areas, so that again they can just kind of grab as needed. They could even be half-size snacks, so they really can grab whenever the mood strikes them. So that's a way that we're limiting how many times we have to say no, and they can feel like they have more sense of control. We also want to declutter when possible. I know I say that all the time, but when we declutter, we really minimize the fall hazard and fall prevention that we really are striving for. We can again use signs to help us, so we can put signs on the cabinets and in the fridge. It could be with words or pictures just describing what is in each cabinet or in the fridge, so that our loved one again can be independent and see what's in there and get the items that they need. As far as eating, so eating can be a challenge as well. They sell stabilizing utensils, so for anyone who shakes or has trouble gripping, and that can be another way to give as much independence as possible. Another thing that you might see is, food has a lot of choices, and when you're seated at a table, there's so many things that our minds have to process. And so you might see that your loved one is confused and doesn't really know the next steps. So mirroring is a really great way to kind of show your loved one what to do next. So that could be serving themselves. It could be how to use the utensil itself. So those are all things that can be really helpful. Instead of just explaining how to do it, mirroring is a really great technique. So when it comes to the kitchen and mealtime, safety is always very, very important. And so it's number one important to ensure that our loved ones are safe, but we always also want to foster that independence. So I hope some of these tips were helpful in the kitchen. Please comment down below anything else you found successful in either keeping the kitchen or home more safe, or in ways that work for your loved one to be as independent as possible. It's so great having a community like this because we can really hear from everyone and see what things have worked for you and help us all think outside of the box. So until next time, I think next week we're going to keep going with the safety because there really is so many things with the activities we do throughout the day. So I will talk to you next week. Bye.